You mentioned golden handcuffs earlier.
Yes.
It's the alluring but hidden security to keep you working.
All right, guys. We have Kevin Mendoza back for the third time. We should just call this catching up with Kevin. And so, of course, he's in his role that isn't new anymore because he's pretty much like the lead guy there. We're going to catch up with work, life, and everything in between. Kev, what have you been up to, man?
Working, or barely working, should I say. This new gig is like a day and night difference from what it used to be at our previous job. So much so that I almost feel guilty that I have this because I'm getting paid this much to do next to nothing. Actually, nothing would be more than I'm doing now.
and that's because of, so for the background, for anyone that's listening for the first time, Kev is a electrophysiology technician, but he's also certified RCES,
Right.
registered certified electrophysiologist specialist.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was the reason why you left our place, because the opportunity presented itself. Once you get the certification, you're supposed to get a certain amount of pay. That didn't happen. You went searching for another job that will pay you your worth after the certification, and that's where you're at now.
Yes. And I'm loving it.
There you go, because
it really just it really painted the whole picture for me of how mistreated I was, previously, and I compare that to where I am now. I'm like, oh, this is what it was supposed to be there, but because of the mistreatment and they did not give me the raise that was deserved, I was like, okay, peace out, let me get mine. And now I'm doing amazing.
And we always like talk about it. We're like, there's actually like a management meeting about, we brought up like, how come we haven't had a new tech in, how long has it been? Like 6, 7?
It's going on the 5th month right now.
Yeah, we haven't even like, we just interviewed someone on Friday.
That's wild. Y'all had people lined up, even before I left. Like,
yeah,
you guys had people in the back pocket, and people are just not stepping up to take the initiative to start that process.
Yeah, like it you could see it in the guys' faces that they're just like, wow, I can't be doing doubles every day, like 3 times a week.
Bro,
we're doing 16-hour days. And then finally it came to the point where like everyone's tired, and people are calling out or whatever it is, and then like, oh my god, we do have to hire someone because we lost a really good tech in you. And that was that. And then there's like no replacement. And so we brought up, there was like a meeting, and we brought up what's up with the tech position. And then they're saying some crazy stuff, some crazy BS, saying like, maybe I shouldn't be saying that if they watch this, but they're like, oh, it's HR's problem, saying whoever becomes a tech needs to have some sort of like EP experience or cath experience. And then that's when I brought up, I was like, oh wait, I was like, wait, you said what? And then like, so I first brought up, even like one of our other coworkers brought up, like, she pointed out like a few people, they came from housekeeping,
right,
or the other 2 came from like being PCAs, another one anesthesia tech.
And so bro, like, I came from outside the hospital.
And then I brought up, I was like, Kevin, the only one that passed the RCES, the dude came in from the street. Like, the dude literally walked in and became one of our best ones, the only one that got certified, and now he's leading the charge at the other hospital. So it's like, what do you mean?
Wild.
We need someone like that when we could just train everyone up. And then of course it comes down to the personality. Like, your personality is like, okay, I want to learn and I want to be really good at it. And then like, you can't train that. They could only train to a certain point to know how to do the procedures. And if they want to become the best at it, that's on them.
Yeah, that's fair. Because like, taking me for example, coming in from a background with zero hospital experience at all.
Mhm.
Um, well, also the necessity was there, but I wanted to learn EP well enough so that way I was good enough at it. So that way I wouldn't be dreading to go to work every day. Because if you're going to work every day not knowing what you're doing, you're dreading that you're gonna fuck up, right?
Yeah.
So like I just wanted to get good enough where it like everything was a breeze, everything was routine. Like I just show up, do what I gotta do, and I get paid. Like that's the routine that I wanted, and that's how good I had to get. But I agree, the the attitude or the motivation to want to learn this field needs to be there.
Oh, 100%, because it's so specialized too, and then, like, I feel like a lot of people don't understand the how closely we work with these high level doctors, and they expect me to be at a certain level of competency,
Yeah.
where if I was to compare it to, like, anywhere else, you're not really working directly with doctors. You're just
Yeah.
doing tasks and you gotta keep it moving kind of thing, but you're expected to be high level throughout the whole way.
Right. The relationship between doctors and the staff is very intimate because you are in their face during the procedure. Like I'm scrubbed in, I'm like 2 feet
Staring into
away.
their
Yeah,
eyes.
seriously, I'm 2 feet away from the attending and passing up instruments and stuff. And like, what I do on my end will like it directly impacts the flow of the case. So
Mhm.
yeah, we need to be on our game um for like these types of procedures.
And now going into where you're at now, I hear good things that, like, you're not doing as much because that's the specific role. And then I was even told by some nurses, like, sometimes it looks like you're bored there.
uh yes and no. I do like when it comes to the physicality of it, I
Mhm.
do very little. Like, you know how you joke around saying that you do nothing at work? Um, if you could reduce that level by like 100, that's what I'm doing at work. Just because the way that they set up everything over there, it just makes so much sense that
Mhm.
the convenience of setting up the room and like pulling everything together for the case, it it just makes it look like that I'm not doing much because things are an arm's reach away versus like
Mhm.
before the room setup was a little bit more complex because equipment was not where it wasn't in the most convenient place. Like, you would have to run around the entire lab, all three rooms, like 6 times before you gather everything that you needed. But
That's
every
true.
but everything for one case it's stocked in each room. So you never have to leave the room.
Dang.
So
And is
then
that
like
because they have a specific EP lab, like, it's not being shared with cath lab or something like that?
yeah, so like we have our own storage. We have our own
Mm.
like stock room that's like in the hallway. And then each room itself has their own like big ass closet where they keep like all the
Oh.
all the catheters, all the cables. So like you're never running out of the room to like grab something. You just take 2 steps to the left and it's right there. Then you can just pass it up immediately. So then in that sense, the physicality is drastically reduced when compared to the previous job. And also my role now is more so staring at the screen, keeping an eye on the electrograms, and like doing pacing maneuvers for the study. So I'm in a chair pushing buttons majority of the time, and I don't scrub in for device cases. I kind of don't. I don't scrub in at all. I only scrub in when I feel like I'm bored enough to scrub in because the nurses need help. They want to leave early, so taking that mentality from Sinai, scratch
It's
that.
okay.
So taking that mentality from the previous job, where I want to hustle in order to get everyone out on time. I scrub in and help out, but by no means is scrubbing in required at this place for the techs.
That's awesome. So with what you're doing now, how's the work-life balance?
Uh, much better. I would say night and day difference. Before, I was unable to really take care of myself because I was so burnt out
Mhm.
doing, a bunch of doubles. My sleep was lacking big time. I had no time to like go to the gym. I had no time to like do proper grocery shopping if I wanted to. Because during the weekend, I would just like try to recover as much as I wanted to. But like now during the week, 3 o'clock, I'm out the door every day. No questions asked. Like, okay, can you say no? I'm gone. So then I have enough time to like prep healthier foods for myself, so that way, I feel better. I'm able to go to the gym. I'm able to relax and wind down from the day, not
Mhm.
stressing myself out to wake up super early after a shift to do another double or something like that. So much better work life balance. I feel amazing. I even have like this little ring that keeps track of. Have you heard of the Aura ring?
Yeah, the Oura Ring, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been wearing this now, and I've been able to track like my sleep patterns and like how my overall health is, and it's giving me pretty damn good scores. Had I had this ring previously at the other job,
It's like, "Is this dude dead?"
bro, like the ring would tell me, you need to just like dig yourself a grave right now.
I think that's crazy because, you already know our field is moving very fast now with, like, PFA.
Yeah, we're doing a bunch.
If so, yeah, we're doing a lot.
I hear.
Yeah. So, like, all 3 rooms are going, and everyone's doing at least 4 cases each, so it's just insane. And then, obviously, there's the people that still gotta do their devices afterwards, so you don't even know what time those are finishing. So
Mm,
you could only imagine on the burnout where certain people are just like, "What am I doing here still?"
yeah.
And I don't know. You get brought up a lot where it's like, "Dang, how come we're stuck here?" kind of thing.
Oh, shoot. From my guys.
Yeah, because a lot of them are very bright, but is it like
Yeah.
a golden handcuff thing where it's like, I do know for some people, it comes down to the insurance and certain things that are beneficial for their kids, but
Yeah.
that's where I start wondering if that really should be the factor to not take a
Pursue
per
anything else. Yeah.
pursue, like, what you're doing, at
Mhm.
least to try it out because, like, what is there? Like, you got, like, 6 months to come back or something, but also, you could also probably think that certain people in the hiring departments might be petty if you did leave, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what I always wonder. But let's talk about everything outside of work because no one needs to know that. Everyone knows that you're doing really well.
This is
So,
true.
and what have you been up to? Anything outside?
I've been back in the gym, so I really want to get my training back up, get my numbers up in order to compete again. I feel like that's just a fun goal for the year, especially if you and some other people are down to compete with me.
Oh yeah.
Um, I've I've been researching also on like just other side hustles or just other ways that I could potentially earn more money down the line. Because as cushy as this gig is, um, if I were to make any major moves with my personal finances in the near future or even distant future, things have to change at some point. So just starting to think ahead, traveling is always an option. A
Mhm.
bunch of the travelers at my job are like, Kev, you should just do travel. Like, you have the experience. You're good now. Like, I'll hook you up with my travel agency.
Mm.
Like, and let's, you could be making a lot of money like now. And I was like, Yeah, I do want to like bump up my resume with a little bit more experience, just for safety, or I just feel like that's the right thing to do. Because a resume that has a young, um, I guess, age, because I've only been in the
Okay.
hospitals for like, well, this is my third year, so I don't know how much experience or how much weight that type of experience would carry into like applying for other roles. I just feel like I got lucky with this one, but I also qualified for it because of my certification.
Did they kind of tell you how much experience that they have?
Yeah, so they one of them is actually a nurse.
Oh,
Yeah, so he's full blown RN, but he's worked in EP labs as a nurse, but he found this listing for a tech job, and I guess he just wanted to step away from nursing for a bit, and you know, after finding out how good it is as a tech over there, he was like, "All right, I'll stay here for a little while longer as a tech." So
oh,
he's not
wow.
he's not technically using his nursing degree. I guess he used it as leverage to get in as a tech. For example, on paper, he doesn't have RCES like I do, but he has nursing EP experience. So then that's how
Ah,
he was able to get in. So, but that's like I guess the only way he's using his nursing license. But other than that, if he's doing what I'm doing and I don't have a nursing license, he's not using his nursing license. And then there was another traveler, and he's been a traveler for I think the past 10 years.
10
Um,
years. I didn't even know, like, wow.
well, not at this location, but
But, like, yeah,
uh,
I didn't even know, like, traveling was even a thing until, like, COVID started happening.
oh, fair, yeah, yeah. Like I guess it wasn't as prevalent back then,
Mhm.
or even before then. But how he got into EP was because he has his RT, his
Respi
radiology
Oh, wait.
technician
Oh.
certification. So as you know, in EP, we used a lot of fluoro. I guess that was his foot in the door. And again, after finding out how good it is over here, like he stuck it out. I technically
I
pushed.
guess he hasn't seen how what the X-ray guys do at our EP lab
Or probably just as cushy as it is at my place. Um, so yeah, traveling has been on my mind for a bit. Um, but to answer your question, because they had the experience to get into traveling,
Mhm.
um, that's what I think I would need more of to break into that part of the industry.
I wonder because I for nursing, I've when I interviewed a lot of travel nurses, a lot of them said they only needed 1 year of experience to start doing travel nursing. But
Hmm.
I wonder if that's because, for nurses, you could always find a travel gig for, like, basic
Mm,
med surg nursing,
mhm.
like, but because you're so specialized, I wonder if you even need, like, the extra year or so,
Right.
or maybe just wait till you hit a year at where you're at now,
Yeah,
just so
yeah.
you have the 2 biggest, like, medical centers under
Right,
under
under
your
my
name,
belt, yeah.
and then you're like, "Alright, now I could literally go anywhere," and I'm pretty sure you've seen workload be ridiculous at where you used to work, so
Mhm.
you could be used to that, and you've also seen where you're at now, and that'd be awesome if you could find another one like that, as long as they're paying you that
Yeah,
amazing rate.
right. Um, yeah, like, having the 2 biggest hospitals for EP under my name, I guess that's what I would wanna have. So,
Mhm.
for example, if I dip into traveling now, um, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out as a
Yeah.
traveler, I don't have that experience under my belt to back me up should I need to go for a full-time position again. I'm assuming. I have no idea, but or it could be enough. But at least having a solid year or two, maybe just 1 year, I think that would be sufficient to really bump up the resume and be like, oh, he was at these two hospitals for a good amount of time. He's got
Mhm.
experience. He knows what he's doing.
Did you already get like the phone numbers from like the recruiter or whatever just to like get a
Just
feeler?
I haven't. I mean, my travelers have always been saying like, "Oh yeah, Kev, like when you're ready, let me know." And I'm like, I always tell them, "Oh, let me just wait till I learn a little bit more. Let me finish out this year, and then we'll talk."
Do you need to learn more, or do you feel like
No, I don't need to learn
you've
more.
capped it?
I feel like, I mean, I could learn more just to get into the real nitty gritty stuff of the field. Like I could probably learn more and develop an understanding of how to read electrograms to like attending level.
Mm,
I don't need to by any means, but I feel like again going back to like how good do you want to be to make the job easy. Uh, I guess that would definitely help if I were to do traveling. Then I could go anywhere and like know right away, like this is what we're doing, and have that same feel of routine and mundaneness,
no
and still
matter
get,
where you go.
yeah, exactly, no matter where I go, and then get paid.
Yeah, because if you're at that highest level, everything is gonna be easy.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know how stressful it is. Well, I don't know. It's been a while since you had to switch jobs, which
Yeah.
is a good thing. Um, but it's stressful and annoying to have to learn something every time you go somewhere. But I guess for me, it was a specific case because I went from knowing absolutely nothing coming into our workplace.
Mhm.
So that was really stressful. And then now I took that knowledge and transferred it over to where I work now. So the amount of new material that I had to learn is reduced. So it wasn't as stressful. I really just had to know the layout of the facility and like get the report in with the doctors. But it to my point, if I just knew everything at expert level, going anywhere should be a breeze.
That's solid. Like, like we already I already talked to you about like, oh, optimize the LinkedIn because I just started getting random DMs on LinkedIn, which I didn't even know you could do because I just started looking at my LinkedIn after 10 years the last time I made it. I was like, oh, let's just put all of my information on here and just see what happens. And then I talked to a lot of people saying like, oh yeah, you could just put all your information on there and then you could optimize it better, which I'm not exactly sure
Mhm.
how to, but then I'm sure for your specialty, I'm sure it's a need. And then I wonder if monetary wise, before you even like have kids, I wonder if it could be like a 1099 work versus a W-2 or something like that, just to see if you could make more money
Mhm.
or figure out ways on that end. Because I'm sure, like you said, the travelers that you're working with are probably making a ridiculous amount.
Yeah, they're making a ridiculous amount, and when you consider what we do, um, it's like it almost increases its value. Have you heard?
Mm.
Because I saw a meme at one point where uh, the guy was like, it's an employee, and he's like, "Oh, they're not giving me a raise, so I'm gonna give myself one by working less." So the relation of how much work you do for how much you're compensated um, could be adjusted so that what you're getting paid is exactly the amount of work that you put in.
No, I definitely understand that because I talk about it with like the other nurses in the lab that we used to work at, is that like once you get into the routine and understanding everything that we're doing, it becomes so easy to the point where if you since we're a union hospital where you feel bad for right next door is the ICU knowing that they're getting shitted on.
Yeah,
And then I'm over here like laughing the whole time, but we're getting paid the same.
right.
So it's like like they're gonna go home super tired. I'm gonna go home with stories to tell.
Yeah.
Like, that's like funny stories to tell. So like I definitely understand that. And then like for you, and then knowing that, like you said, the you're getting paid more by doing less,
Mhm.
same amount of hours.
Not doing as much work, but, since the pay is the same, then it's like, "Oh, I gave myself a raise because I gave myself less work to do."
And that's huge too, because like a lot of people always would just want to look at numbers, like numbers, numbers, numbers.
Yeah,
How high is it? But is it worth the stress? Is it worth the anxiety? Is it all of that comes into play to a point?
I agree. And I think that was huge for me. My tail end of working with you at our hospital.
Mhm.
Um, uh, because of the burnout, I was really starting to question, like, okay, I shouldn't complain because I have a union job that makes X amount of money, and numbers wise, I'm doing very well, right? Can't complain.
Yes.
But then there's also the well-being aspect of you know working and living and staying alive. Like, are you killing yourself just to meet those numbers? And I feel
Right.
like before I was, and what was it getting me? It was not giving me a life that I wanted to live because I was living to work, right? I was scheduling
Mm.
my time at home to optimize my preparedness to work a double, right? Or to, like, commute at a certain time so that way I could fulfill the needs of work. But that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to have work life balance to the point where I show up, I leave at, a regular time, and then I enjoy, recover, rest the rest of my time versus, like, killing myself to go to work the next day.
That's interesting. So even though you went over all that, are you now closer to living that life that you
Oh,
want to live?
1000%. Yeah. Yeah. Not only
And
because is the pay higher, but the work life balance is definitely there because the amount of stress is pretty much non-existent. This thing also measures stress levels. And, like, I sometimes compare it with my girl who works um in OR, and, like,
Mhm.
they're scrubbed in with attendings, and uh that's stressful just being face to face with doctors. And
Oh, of
then
course.
it's also a nursing job, so you're face to face with patients a lot more. You're running around a lot more, pushing meds, stuff like this, stuff that I don't know how to do.
Mhm.
Um, so I can imagine the stress levels of that type of work. But then when we look at the graphs, the stress charts of the ring, like hers is like spiking like every hour, and then
Oh,
uh
wow.
mine's like low majority of the day, and then it only spikes at lunch because I'm like excited to go eat. But it's not
Ooh.
yeah, exactly. It's not like emotional stress. It's just like, oh, like it's excitement stress. So like I get to go, like, oh, I get to leave the room to go eat something. So, but it's just really interesting that um the difference in just how much stress you have throughout the day, uh, how that makes you feel. Like,
Mm.
you just feel better the less stressed you are, which obviously is the goal.
And that's huge. And then going into what you're talking about too, trying to figure out other ways to make extra income if you wanted to make bigger moves. What things have you been looking into?
Work from home stuff, because I have
Oh.
so much time after work to do something. For a time, I felt like, oh, this is such a waste of time. Like, I could be making more money.
Mhm.
Um, but at the same time, like, I also wanted to use the free time for what I intended it for, which was to not work and like rest, recover, and enjoy.
Mhm.
But things that I was looking up were what was it? Transcribing. So like
Okay.
you will receive files from anywhere. It could be like um court trials, it could be like dispositions of some kind, it could be like um police body cam stuff, anything, any recording that they send you, you just have to listen and then type it out. And then if your turnaround time is good, then you get a higher payout. So I thought that would be something easy enough to do, mindless enough to do at home to earn a little bit more income. uh, but then I considered how I'm not fast at typing. So that was out the window.
Do they give you recordings?
Well, I never tried it, but to test out. No. Um, what
I'm
I
sure there's a AI tool where you could just, like, upload that file. I just wonder on, like, what kind of, like, rules and regulations would go around
Yeah, I'm
uploading
I'm
it.
I'm sure there's a way that you could use AI to listen in on the recording to like have it type out for you. But yeah, I don't know what the rules would be to like for that and like
Yeah.
how they would pay you for that. If at all. Um, Other things I looked up were uh, like medical. What's it called? Medical coding is
Oh,
also
yeah, that's huge.
it's also a work from home job. And I had to look up what it was because you hear medical coding, and what do you think of? Do you know what it is?
I think of all the coding for insurances
Oh, okay, so you
and
don't know what
medical
it is.
products and all that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's exactly what it is. You receive like the billing info from the hospitals, and then you have to code it numerically in a way that the insurance companies can understand, so they could like pay each other out or something. That one you need a certification for, which I
Mhm.
looked into. Um, it doesn't seem too daunting, uh, but then I was looking at entry level salaries, and it's like again the balance between how much you want to work versus how much you get paid. And I'm like, all right, not only would I have to get another certification and educate myself, spend all that time and effort doing that, but then the starting salary at least is like not worth it.
Especially for the time that if it's part-time too, the amount of hours you'd be having to do just to make a significant amount, I'm guessing,
Yeah,
isn't
I mean, if I was doing it purely for numbers, I would. But and the whole reason why I left our previous job was to have more time. But
and
I
not get
don't.
wrecked.
Yeah, but I necessarily don't want to spend that time working for the sake of increasing my numbers.
So what other, like are there any, like, side hustles you were trying to think of, like, outside of
Working from home.
oh, well, like, anything other than isn't medical that requires certain amount of hours where you could just be more entrepreneurial?
I haven't explored that side yet. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. The whole like entrepreneurial endeavor side of increasing your wealth. Uh,
Mhm.
I've been questioning like, is that what I want for myself?
Mm.
Because I look back to when I was passionate about fitness and passionate about camera work. And when I was doing those things for income, uh, the business side of everything is what really turned me off. And I think we could both agree that some people are wired for business and some
Mhm.
people are not, even though all the skills in business can be learned. It's just a matter of, does one have the personality to thrive with those skills in order to make it successful. And just looking back at my past uh, entrepreneurial endeavors, I'm like, yeah, I was like super passionate about the things that I love to do. But then when it came to like the transaction work or like, the taxes or like the hunting for gigs, I'm like,
Mhm.
I just questioned real hard. Like, do I like this? Do I love the passion enough to tolerate the business side of it? And like, does the income justify that kind of work? And I don't think I have it in me anymore.
Mhm.
Maybe when I was younger, and more passionate about it, then I would have stuck with it a little bit longer. But now that I've been burnt out through working at the hospital, and I value more my time versus just increasing the number in my net worth. That's what I feel like, at least in the moment, that's what I want to prioritize.
No, no, that's huge. And it's super interesting because I like how you brought up that as much as say social media would pretty much say you always have to focus on your net worth and keep bringing it up, but of course there's stresses that come with it,
Mhm.
and you seeing just stressing out just to work more hours just to get paid a certain amount, and then seeing where you are now kind of brings you back down to life, that bring you back down to normalcy, where it's like maybe that's not what I need to chase. That even though everyone is pushing everyone else to chase, like, oh, you need to build that American dream
Mhm.
of owning your own business and being uber wealthy, whereas a lot of people forget to remember just to be happy or learn to be happy with what they have currently, which is tough because obviously I'm always doing a ridiculous amount of entrepreneurial stuff. But what I was going to go into is, since you have so much knowledge in the like the EP field, and like you already started doing it a little bit on TikTok and educating, I feel like if you're not burnt out from EP electrophysiology stuff, obviously it takes a while to get a following because it's such a niche field.
Mhm.
Is that something you could see yourself fully diving into on that like off time to like really just like pump out videos? Because it's something you already know. It's something you could do basics all the way up to specialty, and
Mhm.
then eventually build out like the stand store where you don't have to actually actively find sales, where you could just be like, I have a course on how to teach EKGs, or I have a course on how to do this. Buy it.
Mhm. Yeah, that is something that initially, when I got the certification, that's what I thought that I was going to do. Like, you know, pump out educational videos in order to help people like me pass the RCES and then transition into a better situation, get more pay, and overall just have a better life. Um, I guess my hesitancy in starting that was, I guess, um, the sense of imposter syndrome, because I wouldn't want to, I guess, be called out by an attending who sees my YouTube videos and to be like, "Oh, no, that's wrong. It's actually this, da da da." And I'm like, should I really care about that anyway?
Hmm.
Thinking about it just now, I was like, who the fuck cares?
Yeah.
But yeah, also I really am just enjoying my time not working so much. So that's also just pushing that whole project further back. Um, I guess it's because this is interesting too, and I thought about if this is what is happening. You mentioned golden handcuffs earlier,
Yes.
um, and I asked when you mentioned that the first time, like maybe 2 weeks ago to me. I actually had to look that up, and it's uh, it's the alluring but hidden security to keep you working, or something to that effect,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So like, if a job pays you well enough that you don't want to leave, but the conditions are bearable enough where um like you wouldn't want to leave, then it's like, okay, you'll do it forever.
Yeah.
And then hence the handcuffs, like you're stuck there. um and when you mentioned it to me a few weeks ago, I was like, oh shit, that is actually what is happening, because this job is so good. It is so well paying. the stress level is like next to nothing. Um, this is the first time I actually considered like, oh, I could retire here
Mhm.
because I mean, most people would want the race to save up for retirement because they don't want to deal with the stressors of their current job.
Mhm.
I've maneuvered myself into a job where the stressors are next to zero, and it's like, okay, if all I have to do is come here a few hours a day and get paid sustainable income to support the lifestyle that I want, then is there something to run away from? Is there a race to get out if it is
Mhm.
comfortable? Um, so hence the handcuffs. Like, am I stuck here now because it is so comfortable? And that's something I really have to consider going forward. But then that's why I also want to at least plant the seeds of like doing travel, just so I do have a way out if if ever the time comes.
And like that's a great point because I'd be a hypocrite if I said I'm not complacent because where I'm at now, it's you already saw what I've
Yeah.
been doing for a while. And in the beginning, when I first started in the EP lab, it was tough for me. There was toxic nurses, toxic techs. The doctors were way worse then. And I didn't know much about anything that was going on. So it took a few years for me to figure it out and weave my way through to where I'm at now, where I'm comfortable. But now I'm so comfortable where I'm at, where it's like the constant raises every year because of the union.
Mm,
We have really good health benefits. There's unlimited OT if I needed it. So golden handcuffs, knowing that you're always going to consistently get paid a good amount. I'm usually always going to have the same assignment going out. And then it's going to be like, so that already eliminates the biggest stressors of money and anxiety of where am I? What am I doing?
mm,
And then just for me, maybe it's like I just talked with someone right before you, the change in mindset to not necessarily chase more money, but wanting to increase my income came from the responsibility of kids, not the
mm, mhm.
mortgage, not marriage. It was kids for me. Once my daughter was born, I was like, oh, dang, this isn't my income can be enough because obviously my parents were nurses. But am I really stepping up to be better than my parents, knowing that I know I shouldn't even be thinking this way,
Mm.
knowing that they came from like a third world country in the Philippines and working as nurses. So it's okay where I'm at, but me being able to have the opportunities here and not take advantage of trying to find my like own American dream
Mhm.
of being better instead of just being okay with what my parents' dream was for us. So like that's where I started becoming more thoughtful of increasing income, trying to figure out side hustles, but also understanding that it's okay to be like every other Filipino out there and just work in the hospital till you're 65,
Yeah.
which is fine, but also for like side hustle purposes. Like that's why like I do this. I'm not hardly making any money off of doing this because I feel like this is fun, the conversations, and
Mhm.
eventually, hopefully, it catches on. But for work purposes, like I'm just like you. I don't want to have to work hard for a secondary income.
Mhm.
I want to try to figure out something where I'm more passionate about, have more fun doing, and that leads me to I'm trying out this new side hustle. Um, which I think you probably would qualify for it too, is like Amazon reviews. And
Mm.
and it's not like I'll make a video on it, which is pretty lucrative from what I'm seeing. Obviously, everyone on YouTube is probably always showing their highlight reel or whatever, making $100 a day, which equals out to like $3,000 a month, which
Mhm.
is insane.
That's someone's salary right there.
Yeah, which is insane to like even think about. But from what I'm seeing, as it's not the affiliate link, it's something I didn't even know about till like maybe like a month ago. Yeah, like a month ago. Where pretty much everything you see behind me is from Amazon. Everything probably in your apartment, like 90% of it is from Amazon.
Facts.
Where where yeah, where you just have to apply for the Amazon influencer thing on Amazon.
Mhm.
And as long as you have an active social media account that gets some sort of engagement, they approve you. And then you have to put up 3 reviews to get approved by an actual person from Amazon to make sure you are who you say you are and
Mm.
kind of thing like that. And the way they pay you is that if your video, because if you like go to any product on Amazon, right, you'll see, if you scroll up and down, you'll see like a carousel of videos.
Right.
And if someone watches your review and then ends up buying it, that product, you get a commission off of it. Even though there is no link to your thing, as long as they watched your review, you'll get some sort of commission for them buying it. And apparently that's what a lot of people have been doing and making a significant income from it. And so I'm going to try it out. And like, what is it to me to put out 1-minute videos of if I like something?
Yeah.
And like we were just talking about, everything around us is probably from Amazon, on Amazon. And if it works out, it works out. If not,
It costs very little of your time, and
I
you
was already buying something anyway.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, so I guess that's what I would want if I were to do anything side hustly,
Mhm.
is the passivity of it. If I have to if I have to input, like, low I guess, low cost time and effort, into the potential of, making something, then, like, I'm more inclined to do it. But,
Yeah,
like I was saying before, like, those side hustles, the work from home side hustles was, like, that requires my physical presence and my time to, like, to transcribe or to do anything.
to get a
Y
certification.
Yeah, like, that's way too much work for me. For some people, again.
Yeah, they might have the capacity for it, but like I thought about that too. I was like, what could I do? And then like, and then I was like, I don't know, the world works weird. I was never even looking up Amazon influencer or whatever thing, and
Mhm,
then it started popping up, and I was like, oh, let me just watch it while I'm washing dishes. And then once it started happening, I was like, is that all you have to do?
mhm.
I was like, I'm already buying this stuff, and if I'm keeping it, that means I liked it. And then I'm like looking up what people are saying on how to do the review. It's like 1 minute long of being like, I really like this water bottle. It says thermoflask. It comes with a little thing like here where you could spin it all down so no water could come out. Comes with a little thing like this so you could hold it. And it's like dishwasher friendly. I like it. And then like that's what people were showing on YouTube. And then I was like, and that's all you have to put. And then as and it doesn't even matter if the person liked your video as long as they watched it and then bought it within like a
Oh, so
certain time frame.
if your video shows up at any point in the carousel, because that carousel of videos is not is from everyone, right? It's from
Yeah.
all the reviewers. So if you pop up somewhere in there, even for like a second, or I don't know what the time threshold would have to be in order to qualify, for a commission. But if you just show up at any point in their purchase, you get the
Yeah,
commission.
as long as they clicked play on your video, you're gonna get some sort of commission if they
Mm,
end up buying that product within a certain amount of time frame. And I was like, "What?"
interesting.
So, and like there's like a few people I've messaged a few of them on Instagram, and I asked them like, "All right, break it down for me." And I guess people will break down certain things if you have a decent following. I guess like 6,000 is enough for people to be a little bit more truthful. And
Hmm.
they're like, "Yeah, like you start off really slow, but the more you put out videos on there, the more passive it gets." Like a lot of them said, like for the first month or 2 months, they had like $0 in the commissions. But the same thing with like, I guess like a YouTube algorithm. The more you post, the more active you are on the platform, they're going to be like, okay, they're reviewing, like they said you could upload 15 videos a day. So, oh, they're uploading 10 to 15 a day, and they're products that are somewhat searched for. So let's start putting them at the top 3 of the carousel.
Mm.
And then and they said after that second month of them getting like $0, they all of a sudden started getting like 20 to 100 to 300 to $400 in like a day. And then I
Not
was
bad.
like, yeah. And they're like, yeah. So like the goal was like, a lot of them said like this was like their part-time, like their side hustle, where it was like they treated it like a full-time job to get to like 1,000 videos of the most searched things, just so their face would pop up on those products.
Hmm.
And then they said over like a year, some of their videos that they posted in the beginning of the year are getting them money still now. I was like, wow, that seems pretty solid for something that, if you're only taking like 30 minutes to do videos, because like even in the outline for Amazon, they don't want too many edits. They want it to look as authentic as possible. So I'm literally just like
Just
on my
holding your
phone,
phone, POV.
POV it, or I'll put it on the tripod and I'll have the thing in front of me so you actually
Mm.
see me holding it, and I'm like opening the box and all that.
Yeah.
Like they want the least amount of cuts as possible to make it
Seemed like
as
a real
authentic.
person was doing it.
And
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that's really easy to do. So that's like a thought process that I would think, if I were you, if you wanted to look into that, that'd be solid.
Yeah. I feel like for a side hustle, I would want it to be, I don't know what you call it, something that's equivalent to royalties, where or digital product, I guess, where you make something one time, but then from repeated views or repeated sales, it it keeps making income. So like for example, when you mentioned or suggested to me that I make a course on EP, I make it one time, but it sells over and over again over the course of a year, and then it adds up to something. So like with your Amazon review thing, you make a 1 minute video and you post it, and then like as long as people are watching it 5 years from now, that 1 minute of work has paid like 1,000 times, you know, 1,000 times its value.
Yeah, I'm hoping it really works out, because if that's the case, because all the people on YouTube are saying like you don't need to go out and buy products when your whole house is probably full with Amazon stuff. Just look around and just do the videos on all the stuff that you have, because you never know what someone is looking to buy.
Hmm.
And then when you have exhausted all the stuff in your house, that's when you could
Purchase something.
purchase something. And they said usually by that time you probably already have like 2, 3, 400 things already reviewed.
Hmm.
And they said by that time there's going to be Amazon stores that are going to email you asking you to review their products. So they'll either be sending you
Oh,
stuff for free, and
so like
then
almost like a sponsorship deal.
yeah. And the thing is, so I forgot to tell it, like you don't have to have bought the thing to review it for the video.
Oh,
Like
you just need it.
you just need it to be able to be bought on Amazon.
Hmm.
So like how you could only do a 5-star review, or for whatever, you could only type out a review on something that you bought.
Hmm.
Or the influencer program, they allow you to put videos on any product that is available on Amazon. And then once you're approved, you automatically get put on the product's carousel.
Hmm.
I was like, wow, that
That
seems
easy.
very, very low cost, low
Yeah.
risk, because a lot of people said like a lot of the YouTubers I'm like watching are saying like, after I did all this stuff in my house, I went to like my brother or my sister's house. Or if you want the bigger commissions, because obviously the more expensive something is,
Right.
the
The
bigger
bigger the
commission you
commission.
get.
Right.
They said they'll go to an Airbnb when they do like a family vacation,
And then
and
just start reviewing
reviewing
shit in
everything
the
in the house.
Airbnb.
They said there's like, I didn't know it was an option on the
Yeah.
Amazon app where there is an Amazon Lens, and then if you like point to something, it'll tell you if it's on Amazon or not.
What?
I was like, what?
Wild. I did
So
not
they
know that either.
so that's what they said. Like you just do that, and then you could point to something, and then so a lot of people have been going to like Airbnbs or any kind of place where there might be home decor or someone's patio, and they'll look at it and be like, they'll just start reviewing it right there, and then
It takes seconds.
it takes seconds. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, just give me a second, the bed frame, light, something like that, and then all of a sudden, that's now on your it's called a storefront, your channel, pretty much, and then you could potentially be making money of that in like a day or a few weeks, a few months from now.
That's really interesting and eye-opening. So I actually opened up a TikTok shop in order to become a TikTok affiliate, so that way I could post linked products in my posts. And then everyone on TikTok was saying like, "Oh, like you're sleeping on this if you don't do it because the algorithm will take care of your videos." Because it was suggested that a video with an affiliate link will get pushed out more for the purpose of TikTok making money, the seller making money, and then me making money. So I tried it out. I went through the whole process of like, setting up the shop and like putting all my tax info for the,
Mhm,
for the affiliate links and all this. And granted, I didn't try for too long.
mhm.
Um, but I thought that the barrier of entry was low enough where, like, why not?
Why not
So,
try it?
so yeah, so it took me 15 minutes to set up the shop and all that, and then I probably put out maybe 5 videos of like the protein that I take, the lav mic that I use, and like some other random shit that was also available on TikTok Shop. And what I what I found out in my very short time of doing it was that the algorithm doesn't take care of your videos as most TikTok
People
most
said.
yeah, as much as they said. Um and I thought that was like just a little bit discouraging, but also I didn't try very hard, so like I can't blame anyone but myself. But to make my point, at least with the Amazon um review thing, um it's it seems more, I guess, it has more freedom, um, depending on your start point, because everyone has Amazon products guaranteed in their house.
Mhm.
Like I'm pretty much sure of that. So with TikTok Shop, you could only set an affiliate link on items that are in TikTok Shop.
Uh,
So if I have a bunch of items that I want to review but have no link for it because it's not available in the shop, then it's like it's a dead product for TikTok. But for Amazon, like you said,
everything.
man, you look anywhere in my apartment, it's an Amazon product. So I could set up review. It's not even review links, but review videos, uh, and max out my videos within a day, 15 per day.
Yeah,
Yeah,
15 per day.
I would have content for months. If I max out the 15 videos per day, and
And
like, that alone, I think would, um, I guess, increase the probability for someone landing on a video. Because for TikTok, if it is algorithm dependent and the algorithm's not in your favor, your videos are dead.
dang.
But like if I have so many Amazon products already, a 30-second video here or there, like I just have more chances to
Hit.
to hit, yeah. Because I'm not at the mercy of the limitation of what's on TikTok Shop.
And that's a thing that like I find it so easy to like I keep telling myself I'm gonna give it like a month or 2 or 3 months, but to be honest, I'm gonna be doing reviews anyway. So it's like I'm gonna keep buying things, I mean, from Amazon anyway. So as long as I'm buying it, I might as well make a review on it and just put it up there. And if I bought it, there was a reason why I bought it. I'm sure that means someone else is probably looking for it. So I feel like there's like a zero risk for it
Mm,
because why not? Where like you said, like TikTok has certain reasons or certain things that you can't put on there and all that. And then it doesn't keep you on the app. Where Amazon, I'm probably on there just scrolling for no reason sometimes,
Mhm.
be like, "Oh, I
Oh,
like
what
that."
can I buy today?
Yeah, so,
Just window
like,
shopping.
I think it's something worth looking into. I could definitely help you figure out like, it took me, like, a week to get, like, fully approved. You'll get approved a yes or no right away for the influencer thing just because you have, like, 1,000 or 2,000 followers. But the thing where you get the commissions is where you upload 3 videos where you have to kinda, like, show your face and, like, the product, and you actually have to review it kinda
Mm.
thing.
Oh, so
Like
it's 2 separate things that you have to qualify for, the
yes.
influencer and then the product review.
Yeah. The influencer, you could always the influencer gets you some sorta commission or whatever, but
Is that the one where you could link to
yeah,
your
it's kinda
okay.
like linked to your storefront or
Wow.
whatever, but to get, like, it's called on-site commissions where
Mhm.
they give you, like, a breakdown of that. If you do furniture or something, you get 10% commissions. If you do I think makeup is also super high, but if you do, like, some sorta, like, baby toys, it's, like, 2% commissions or something like that.
Mhm.
So, obviously, people will go towards the bigger ones, but they just want you to put 3 videos out just so whenever that actual Amazon person comes to look at your videos, they'll be like, "Oh, that is Kevin. He's actually reviewing the product and he's tagging the right product, and let me look at his social media account, make sure he's active on there," because that's what they want. They just want people that are active.
Mhm.
I guess that proves to them that they'll be active on Amazon too, and then
Oh, fair.
once
Yeah.
you're approved there, and then all of a sudden, that's when everyone says on YouTube, once you get approved, which takes it took me 5 to 7 days to get that part approved because of I guess you just gotta wait for the actual person to see it, and they said once you're approved there, you'll see, like, a congratulations thing once you open Amazon or email. Then all of a sudden, that's when you just start uploading, like, all the videos. They're like, "Make the 3 videos, upload those 3, but if you have the time, make as many as you can so they're
Mhm.
backlogged, and then right when you're approved, just throw them all on there, and then hopefully something sticks
Mhm.
or something hits, and then if not, maybe someone will search for it later down the line, and then
Right.
at least it's on there, and it's
Yeah.
showing that you're throwing a million videos on there, and the algorithm on there should help you out, like,
Seems
where
passive enough. I just
Yep.
I'm just curious to know what the barrier of entry is for the qualification. Like
Dude,
what
it's dumb low.
okay.
Like, there's been, like, a lot of people saying, like, as long as you're active on because they want you to not necessarily link your Instagram or TikTok, but they put they make you put your link in there, and they just wanna make sure you're posting
Mm,
and getting engagement. So, you pretty much get a yes or no right away for the first part. It's just the second part that just takes a while. So, I'm
I
pretty
see, I
sure
see,
you'll get approved right away.
I see. Worth a
So,
shot.
I think that's worth a shot, and then
Yeah.
obviously, you also bought my covered calls cash secured puts course, and then I could teach you all that as well because I said the 3 people that bought it, I'll, like, do, like, a one-on-one with,
Mhm.
and, like, I need to do that with, like, 2 other people, but it is super easy. I know I kinda covered it a little bit with some of our coworkers, but we could
Yeah,
always go into that as well.
you covered it with me, like, I don't know, a year ago, and I had the gist of it, but, like, to see it in action so that I could do it myself, like, that's what I would need to that's where I need my handheld.
Oh, yeah, for sure, and we could do that at any time,
Yeah.
but this was a lot of fun, man. It's been already like an hour and 5 minutes. Again, if there's any advice that you want to give someone that is trying to figure their career out, what would you give?
Um, don't overwork yourself. It's never worth it. It's never worth it. I don't think I don't know if I could be bought anymore. Just having worked what I've worked and gone through like the psychological and emotional trauma
Mhm.
from like that kind of facility, um, it's not worth the dollar amount that that they're going to pay you.
Dang.
So take care of yourself first. Get educated in what you need to get educated in to move yourself out. Because what was that quote? I posted it on Instagram a while ago. I forgot what philosopher said it, but if you don't like where you are, move. You're not a tree.
I like that.
Yeah. So I didn't like where I was, so I dipped.
And now look, thriving, living the dream,
work-life balance, mad money, and now the freedom to do, or to at least try out these side hustles.
Yeah, man. Again, I appreciate you hanging out with me. You're definitely going to be on here again because it's already the third time. So we'll try
Always
to figure
fun.
out to do like a 3-way thing with someone else, just so we could all just like laugh it up and just like talk trash. But thanks again, Kev.
Of course. Thank you.
All right. Later, man.
All right, I see you.
Peace.